Welcome to Floating Leaves Tea Podcast. I'm Shiuwen.
And I'm John.
Welcome back, John.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
Today we're gonna talk about how I personally get to know a new tea.
Oh, cool.
How do I brew a new tea?
Great.
Because in a way, I'm receiving new tea pretty much all the time. At least minimally every 6 months, I'm receiving new teas. And of course, some of the teas are like, you can say it is a new tea, but it's not new to me. It's not like a tea that they say Mengding tea, because I seriously never have that tea
Yeah, I've
in
never
my
heard
life
it.
so far. So that'll be like a new tea to me. But we rotate our crops and stuff. So like High Mountain Oolong, for example, Dongding, I have new ones coming in very frequently, but in a way, it's not that new to me, So anyway, I'm going to take a Lala Shan Hong Shui as an example today. Because when I received this particular Lala Shan Hong Shui, it threw me a little bit off balance.
Wow.
So John, take a look.
Okay.
This is actually a Lo Shan Hong Shui, but our past Lala Shan Hong Shui got rolled up very much like this. And then this is that crop of Lala Shan Hong Shui I received. I said, wow, it's so different.
Yeah, it's not rolled so tightly.
Yeah.
It's like,
so what do I do then?
That's really, really dramatically different.
Very different, right? So it threw me off balance. I have to admit, I was like, damn, how much leaves should I put in this one?
Yeah.
Well, and then so I used some experiences that I had before. Well, first, this farmer growing method is pretty just let it be, aka wild grown.
Yeah.
And wild grown teas can be very potent. So I was like, maybe just follow that policy. Use less leaves. Just get to know the feeling of the tea, So, and that's what I did, and I tried that way.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to do both and compare them, or just the new
Not
one?
two different teas, because when I used the less leaves, in a way, it didn't turn out the way I wanted. It was like so not the way I wanted. That I was like, what do I do with this tea? It's an expensive tea. Seriously, what do I do? You know, that kind of response.
Was there any reason why, or any explanation for why he processed the leaves differently this time?
Yeah, totally. He's actually a very new farmer. I think he's doing tea as a hobby. And he has a beautiful piece of land. He purchased some while back, but he had a day job. And that make him pretty good money. But back in his mind, his love of actually Tie Guan Yin tea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his love of Tie Guan Yin tea, he couldn't find that kind of tea anymore. So he said, I am gonna make that myself. Pretty sweet, huh?
Yeah.
And that land is beautiful. We were there, that piece of land. He actually accidented. He didn't know. So he was just like, just let it be there.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a blessing.
Wow.
Yeah, his tea, because the place and the way he doesn't interfere with the tea, he doesn't put pesticides, he doesn't even put nutrients, because some farmers actually will put nutrients to the tea plants that hopefully they grow more. He doesn't do any of those things because he didn't know there are other ways.
Yeah.
He told me that. That was so funny, because he said, maybe I'll read a book about farming or something.
Yeah. That's funny because I feel like a lot of people would value wild organic tea as a thing that they actually would want. It's funny that he came about that kind of just like, I don't know anything else.
Yeah, and it just show up like that. And his tea is when it's good, it's really good. So I roughly use you can look into and maybe later we'll take a close-up video to see roughly the quantity that I decided to put in the beginning. Let me see. Yep. maybe just a touch more. And then the lighting is not super bright, but you can see.
It smells good.
Huh,
Yeah, it's
smells
definitely
good,
a
right?
lot less than
Yeah.
you would normally put in. A lot less.
A lot less, right?
And you filled the pot like to the top with water too, so it's gonna be a lot of water in there.
I actually measured it. It was about
Okay.
4 grams of tea, 4 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah, our measurement is not super specific.
Mhm.
It's 4 to 6, so it's between the two. I think it's 5. And for some people, that's enough, because some people put in about 5-6 grams of tea.
Yeah.
I sometimes put 8. I put 10.
Yeah.
12. I will still give you the fragrance cup
Okay.
today, just to practice on that one.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Okay.
Whew,
It's hot. Ooh, yeah, it's hot.
it's hot. And now, since there's no reference, it's also a brand new tea to you.
Yeah.
By the way, like super new. It might be like, well, I don't know what I'm looking at, but use some of your reference that you go through with me in this season. Whatever you need to look at, the structure, the texture, the movement, and etc. etc. Kind of use the same reference to evaluate this tea and see how you feel about it.
Yeah, I've had at least the Lo Shan before, so I've had at least a Hung Shui tea before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I've ever had this one.
But I think you have the past La La San.
Yeah, maybe I did.
Not this La La San. Yeah.
It's got a little bit of a spread already. Getting down kind of nicely into the chest. It's light in the mouth.
Light. And then the scent, kind of layer and kind of not.
Yeah, a little bit there. Yeah, a little bit. I'm not sure if it is going up yet for me.
Yeah. And let's do a second one. Do you ever brew a tea that you just like try to put 4 to 5 grams of tea, kind of like less than usual, and just feel like, well, the result is quite good and satisfying?
I sometimes have that with the high mountains.
Here you go. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Actually, like lighter teas. I mean, I like the heavier strength, like maybe about 8 grams. But sometimes I just want like 3 infusions. and I just put in like half of the quantity. Visually feels like half, and then I still get like 3 lighter and yet satisfying infusions. And with this one, I put about the same quantity than when I do a light high mountain oolong. It's still a good tea.
Yeah.
But I feel it's sleeping.
Yeah.
It's sleeping. I don't know how to describe that. Yeah. So that's my feeling about this way of brewing this tea. It's not bad. The scent kind of show up the body, as you say, is light and yet there's a little bit spray. Even with this less amount of tea leaves, you can already have like feeling of, wow, it is sprayed.
Yeah.
It is sprayed in, and there's salivation.
Yeah.
A very light one. And everything about it, the impression is light, and not just light in like high mountain satisfying way, it's light in a sleepy way. So in a way that tells me then I think we got to do something else to change that then.
Yeah.
There's something about this tea that there will be more.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, that it's like I feel like we just got a little glimpse of what it could potentially be. And I'm betting it's going to be a lot like, you know, thicker and bigger and kind of more dramatic than that. Especially if it does have a lot going on just with a small amount of leaves like you're doing right now.
And this is in a way how I get to know a tea. Each tea has a different thing to, in a way, it has a personality and it has a way to be. Like a certain way of that tea, the nature of that tea, etc., etc. And as I say, it doesn't mean that I always have to brew it strong to get that satisfaction feeling. But this tea, when I brew it light, it doesn't satisfy me.
Yeah.
I only can say, well, this is a good tea, but there is something, my intuition, I guess, say there's something else, much more behind this tea. That's more?
Yeah, it's definitely more.
Yeah.
Like it's reaching my nose.
Yeah. That's more, but it's still sleeping.
Showed up a little thicker in the mouth this time.
Yeah. And you kind of feel it in the body. Yeah, it moves inside.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
What if it's really there?
Yeah.
So let's try. I think this episode, I'm just trying to say that it takes me time to get to know a tea. And I don't try to be hitting it perfectly. Of course, it's very exciting when I hit it perfect. Like, in a way, there's a perfection, or there's like, wow, dang, this is a very good tea. That's very exciting. But I actually don't mind. I don't think this is a mistake. But I think there are better things that can be happening with this tea. That's how a tea drinker can get to, you know, in a way, get to know a tea, understand a tea, because each tea is different. So there's no, certain set way to really like just let's brew this tea this way, you know. Actually, this tea already opened up much more because I actually held a small bag.
Nice.
I just seal it up and because I like this tea a lot. And actually, when it's really like the first try with this quantity, it was absolutely not there. And I was like, why did Noah send me this tea? What do I do with it? Oh my goodness.
This is Noah's tea that he sent over.
Poor Noah. I was very wrong. I didn't yell at him, no. I was just very wrong. I was nervous with the result.
The moral of the story is always trust Noah.
Always trust Noah. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever Noah tell you to drink and to buy, just do that.
That second brew really did leave a pretty good impression considering that it was a lot less tea.
It's showing up, huh?
Yeah, like the salivation is really a lot. It was good.
And then in the past, sometimes I just, add a couple more grams into the tea. Mm-hmm. But since the first experience was so like muted, like the tea was absolutely sleeping, not. Well, this is a subject that maybe I wouldn't do it too much because we are actually going to do today spontaneous. We're going to do a very short one on that one.
Okay.
It's not because it's close up. It's sleeping, and there's a difference between the two.
So the tea could open but be sleepy. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that felt like it definitely opened up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's a feeling that the tea is open. The tea opens up, but it's sleepy. And then there's some tea that you actually have the feeling that there is something more. This tea is not sleepy, but it's tight. Mm-hmm. Just like you can get up in the morning and you are like energized already. You're like take a shower already, and so you're like I'm awake. I'm pretty awake, but you feel like my body is tight. And then sometimes like my body is kind of loose, but I'm absolutely sleepy.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Interesting. Another layer.
Sometimes the layer is like endless. And to be honest with you, the second take on the tea, I didn't know why. I just double it down. I double the quantity.
You just put in twice as much.
Yeah, I just put in twice as much.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, sure.
And I don't think I had a very concrete reason why I did that. I just feel like I wanted to do that.
Just to see maybe the other dimension, put in less leaf, put in more, put in somewhere in the middle, and that way you can kind of see, maybe get a visual of like all the different kind of ways that the tea can be, I guess.
And seriously, sometimes putting that much more is not. It's because sometimes it's so strong that you can hardly bear it, and I don't call that enjoyable. Yeah. Sometimes I think I did brew some of the like roasted high mountain that way, and it's just like I play around with the quantity, and to a point it was like too much leaves in there.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Yeah.
It's not that nice.
I think I did that when I was brewing the other day for you guys.
No, that one was good. So this is the second take on to get to know this Lala Shan Hong Shui. Did I double it? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like definitely more.
It's like a baked bread.
Yeah. It's got
even like the fresh yeast.
It always reminds me of like autumn.
I'm a southern person, not southern whatever you want to mention.
Yeah.
I eat rice most of the time, so I never work with like flour to make stuff. Only lately I started to venture out to do that.
A little disclaimer: Northern Chinese eat bread, Southern Chinese eat rice.
Okay.
Bread or noodles?
Yeah, this requires a little more context for me.
You're like, are you a Texan?
That's actually exactly what I was thinking.
No, I only want to go down there to eat barbecue.
Seriously, yeah. Same.
Maybe this first. And then this.
Yeah, I did feel like when I was brewing in here the other day, and I brewed the Secret Garden and the Milk and Honey, I definitely put way more leaves in than I would ever do at home.
But it's okay, right?
Yeah, it was okay, and I actually felt like it was interesting because it showed a lot of stuff that maybe I don't get to see if I don't put in that much leaf all the time. And maybe I could have done a little bit less. I think I got that out of it, was maybe a little less would be fine and get the same thing.
But the thing is, you know what the result was? You didn't break the tea. The structure was there. And that is, for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes with a lot of leaves, you can really break it. Yeah, with the same teas, you know. I think less leaves are harder to break.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's always, you know, it's just kind of light and stuff.
It's more like obvious when you've made a mistake. I'd say that the first time I brewed for you guys was more like that, where I put a lot of leaves in and it was very obvious when things were not going right.
So almost in the verge of breaking, huh? Yeah, or hiding in a way. Also, now this is a color of home shui that I'm more used to.
Yeah, it's much deeper. The scent is like much bigger.
Yeah, much more presence.
Forgot to do that. It feels like it's wider to me right now.
Yeah. And can you pass?
Yeah, for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, for those who are listening, can you pass one? Barricade. The scent is passing the... What is this place again?
Like the nostrils?
The nostril place. And almost like have a feeling that it reach inside of the head. That's passing to me. Yeah.
Like up in the kind of the eyebrow, forehead area.
Is it super strong? No.
Just like, it's bigger.
The impression of everything is that if you read, I mean, I hate to break down stuff, but if you really need to break it down, is it here? I mean, the side of your tongue. Is it underneath the tongue?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's just kind of, you can really get the spread. It's kind of spreading all around in the mouth.
But in fact, it's not a very strong, like strong, like some of the roasted teas are like strong. It's still like kind of smooth, sweet, and mellow. I would actually use the word mellow to describe this tea. Yeah. It's not a strong tea since I put like double.
Yeah.
You know?
Actually, in the first round, I don't think I detected it under the tongue. I don't even think, and maybe it was there, but maybe it was just so
it's so
light
strong
that it was not obvious.
Ignore that.
Yeah.
You know, throat, you cannot ignore that at all. That it's hard to ignore this tea right now. And then body is like really obvious. Oh, yeah. For me then, that this tea has a little bit more completion since it's capable of doing that.
It's satisfying. It feels really satisfying.
Yeah, here you go. It's all about satisfaction.
Exactly.
No matter what it is. And also, I will give it back to you one more time. Like, it already cools down. You still smell the scent and the presence of the tea. You also stay there much more. There are two reasons why I didn't give up this tea with the first try-in that the tea was absolutely not there. I didn't give it up and just say, well, I was like, a little bit. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, but I wanted to try more. There's something about the tea that even if it's like no flavor at that time, there's something in there that it tells me, first, it's not a bad tea. I brew it wrong. It's me.
Oh, I see.
It's me. Second, I had that farmer's tea. And do you know who sold us this tea? Our teacher.
Oh, yeah. You gotta trust the teacher.
I trust the teacher 100%. He is just an incredible tea person. Like, what goes into his shop, that what can go to his shop, it's like good tea, including the teas that I don't understand.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he can share with example of actually our milk and honey oolong. Our teacher lightly touched up that tea, so it's also his tea. And when Noah first chose that tea, I tried it and I was like, I think it's not that I called it a bad tea because Noah keeps saying it's full body. And I was like so pissed. I was like, that's not full body. You can't say it's full body when it's not full body.
Yeah.
And then we had a pretty bad argument.
Oh, no.
And we were recording that tea, actually. He was in Taiwan, and he drank that tea every single day.
Mm-hmm.
He said, seriously, it's a good tea. And I was like, I'm like, whatever, I don't want to call myself nasty names. I was very feisty just because of the full body description.
Mm-hmm.
I think, was that right? Full body, like you said? Rich. I was
Okay.
like, that is not rich. A couple of months afterwards, I think we tried the tea again. He actually brewed it for me. He already came back, and I tried the tea, and I had to apologize to him.
Yeah.
It was rich.
Mm-hmm.
It was rich.
And they all lived happily ever after.
Maybe not.
I'm having that exact thing right now with the Yunnan Tieguanyin, because I have a small sample of that.
Oh, the one I give you?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's not showing up for me. And I've brewed it maybe 2 or 3 times now this last week. But because I've had you brewed it for me, and I think Noah also brewed it for me, I know what it can be. And so I know that it's something like on my end that's going on that, I'm not sure what.
Yeah, true.
To have that kind of as a benchmark, to know, like, okay, this is not a bad tea. And it's also like there's a lot of great things that are showing up in it. It's just not the same as when you guys brew it.
And so I think due to these 2 reasons, I didn't give up the tea.
Mm-hmm.
Like just that immediate have a first try, and I declared this is a bad tea. So maybe I want to touch on, just like you said, you trust your relationship with us with the Yunnan Tieguanyin, or you can just make one time, or even second time it still didn't show up, right? You were just like, damn it, what kind of tea did they sell me? That is not a good tea. It has no flavor, or something like this. You know, if you already build a pretty long relationship that you have been buying tea from a certain vendor and always pretty good, maybe we look, because sometimes a tea actually takes a couple months to show up. Yeah. And I know that's very dreadful. It's like, I don't want to buy a tea that show up a couple of months, afterwards. Sometimes it's not a vendor that is playing a trick on you, though. It might actually already open up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it shipped to another place. Show us, I don't know, Ohio or something, in the same country. A tea can go into hiding again. Yeah, and it will take like a couple months. So when you try a couple of times, just seal it up again and leave it alone. Yeah, just leave it alone. It might actually show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll build that feeling of, and I guess this is, intuition, that the tea will tell you that you don't need to try me more. Just let it go.
Yeah.
For a while. We actually had that experience with the current furry crab.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good advice. I might try it one more time and see if I can get it. And if I can't, then I'll put it away for a little while.
Yeah, put it away. And then if you use it all up, you need more leaves, just let us know. That's the benefit of doing recording.
Yeah.
Get the stash behind the scene. And sometimes it's your personal relationship with a certain plant. Me and Tieguanyin, it's always really adventurous.
Yeah.
It's very hit or miss.
Yeah.
It's a varietal I personally consider in oolong world. It's very hard for me to nail. Yeah, it's hard for me.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the case for every tea drinker. And for me personally, Tieguanyin, it's really hard no matter where it's from. Oh yeah, smell. Ooh, really good. Yeah. So fruity.
Oh yeah, this one's really nice.
Really nice. Oh, and tastes really good too.
I'm a little bit behind.
So fatty, like.
Yeah.
That.
It's like got a nice like oiliness to it or something.
Yeah. Good. You use a better word. Oily.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a nice way.
Yeah, totally.
In a not greasy way. You see, and everything is balanced and everything is there.
Yeah, everything is there.
Everything is there. You don't even need to break it down. You take a sip and just like quickly scan it, feel it. Yeah. And I think that's about it. And I'm going to bring out a tea that I'm not going to brew today. So maybe 6 months afterwards, we received a very fun tea from the same farmer and from our teacher. Because I was like, do you have any tea? He said, oh yeah, I have a very good one. So I said, just send me some. And I was like, where is it from? He said, from Lalasan. I said, oh, no way. Lalasan farmer grow tea guan. Yeah, how fun. This is the dry leaves. Do you see the similarity of the Lalasan Hong Shui?
Oh yeah, totally.
I said, oh, cool. Roll that way. I'm going to put 8 grams, 10 inside. I almost had a heart attack. And it's not just strong, like juicy, dongding strong. Everything about the tea was firecrackering over the top, and my heart couldn't handle it. My heart was like, oh my goodness. And then so Tie Guan Yin sometimes Tie Guan Yin is known for like metal taste, but it's like, mild hint. This was like mercury.
Wow.
Well, I never drank mercury personally, but that's what I imagine what metal water really tastes like. I was like, but there's something about it that was so not right. It was so, at that time I called it wild horse. I didn't know what to do with it. It was so wild that I actually felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And even when I put in less leaves, it's still like, well, it's still mercury water.
Interesting.
What's happening? And so I text the teacher's assistant, and then she asked the question for me and with my experience. And then first they said, I didn't tell them how much I put, and they said put less leaves than you usually do. So because of the Lala San Hong Shui assessment, I put just like equal.
Yeah.
That's what they say. And then he continued to, I think, read my experience with the tea. Do you know what he said? He said, leave it alone. The tea is not used to your environment.
Oh, okay.
That was incredible. And that was our hunch. Me and Noah tried this tea like 5 times. And I was like, there is something about this tea that I think we need to leave it alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually set the tea aside for maybe a few months before I dare selling it. But in Taiwan, he didn't have that problem. So was the teacher playing trick on me? I don't think so. I think tea is alive, and we need to, try it out, and no need to call it a mistake or not. You just get to know the tea. Yeah. And I think this way, that eventually when the tea decides to show up, or when you get to know how to deal with the tea, I think the experience is gonna be in a way much more wholesome. Like it become, wow, this is good. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
This is so good. I'm gonna keep some.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That was good.
I hope a couple of sips of this tea you feel really
I feel
good.
really good. Yeah,
Good,
I want more of it.
Yeah. I'm gonna brew more, but we don't
Okay,
need to
good.
record. Let people watch us.
Right.
So good.
Yeah.
So we'll say goodbye.
Okay.
And then we'll see people next time.
All right. Till next time.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.